I wanted to ask about something that about that. I feel that it is something, especially Western people, would really usually have a hard time to just believe something, and we tend to want to look for proof for things. And when you talk about reincarnation and death and everything that comes after this life, it's really hard to perceive anything as proof. And so I do wonder, how do you tackle doubts about that? Because I think people are afraid of death and are afraid of dying. And in a way, it's a subject that people try to avoid because it feels like a dead end. And so, yeah.
其实我们这个生命的内性的一些现象的话，并不是说是像一般的这个世间的物质一样了，就马上用这个科学来这个测试啊，就这些是很难的。我刚才也讲到，它是一种这个阴暗的，就是并不是马上能看到的。但是我们呢，就是也有很多确凿的证据，就是科学完全无法解释的，而且也有这个前世合适的这个证据。就包括科学的话呢，西方思想的思维方式的话，它没有一个特别确凿的证据就绝对不存在，就是没有这样的。而且也有很多的有这个证据呢，就是说存在。就如果不承认的话呢，那就没办法，就是这个道理是说不下去的。所以这个问题呢，我刚才讲了，就是一定要研究，就是通过研究以后呢，才能发现就是真理的。如果你没有研究的话，肯定有怀疑的，肯定有不太相信的，这是正常的现象。然后对死亡的问题的话呢，也是非常的这个大，就是所以我们依靠这个宗教的方式来研究的话，是最好的。
Well, all of you, what you talked about is the trust in your inner experience. How can you trust in inner experience? In fact, science cannot detect or measure inner experience, just like how our world is only perceivable, the real matters, the normal matters that we can perceive through our eyes, but we cannot perceive the large number of dark matter and dark energy, which are much more than the normal matter that we can perceive. Nowadays, we have many evidence that science cannot explain many of the stories and phenomena that happen in our world that cannot be explained by science. And lots of the evidence from science cannot explain how past life doesn't exist. So there's no scientific research on how past life doesn't exist. There's no certain answer to that. That's why I emphasized on the importance of research and study, because through research and study, you'll get more knowledge in this, and you'll be able to analyze into this matter more, and not just based on what science says. So through research and study, you'll be able to remove your doubts. But by now, if you haven't really deeply investigated or invested lots of your time into this study, having doubts is completely normal. The second, also when you talked about death, that is a big topic. And death cannot be explained by science, we cannot relieve that fear simply by relying upon science. But I think religious help in the aspect of death is quite essential.